Okay, here's a tutorial on building the program for your message. Okay, so you start off with this paper, and I just filled in one column. So if I was doing the letter C, I need to put a 1 where the segments would turn on. So A, D, E, F, G. If the segments are like this, A at the top goes around with G in the middle. So I come back here, and so 1 turns it on, so the B and the C and the G do not turn on. So you do that for every letter in your message. You can have up to 8. And then, so that will fill in, that will give you columns. So column A is what I'm going to make. It's the only one I'm going to make, just to show you how it all works. So if I go back, so if I go to Multisim, now I'll come back to this one, but what you have to do is click File, New, PLD Design. You want it to say Digilant CMOD S6. You'll have a bunch of choices. It may not start out that way, but you want that. Then click Next. You can give it a name. And click Next. It's going to default to these. If you want to do it correctly, you can uncheck all, PIO 14, and okay, these are inputs, and I'm just going to finish with that. And that will give you this, because for the other ones, you have to make sure that you have this, an output. And then you just go from 26 to 32. So you do 26. I'm not going to do all of them. It'll automatically go down the row. So you do that. And actually, you're going above it. So if I do it like this, because I'm counting up. So you do that all the way up to 32. And so you'll get this, PIO 14 here, and here's my 32 down to 26 here. There is also this little thing right here, PIO 33. If you building this, only makes it so that it only turns on one of the 2 7-segment displays. So that's what this does. Doesn't matter whether it's there or not. It would just light up both of them. Then you need to make this. You need to make this. This is a 3 flip-flop 0 to 7 counter. Okay, if I start it, it's going slow because I have this at 1 hertz. But this is only for simulation. If you don't have this here, it doesn't affect the programming, but this is just showing that it does in fact count from 0 to 7. There's 4, 5, and so on. So it needs to look just like this. So you can pause it there if you want to build it or whatever. These things can be found if I go up here into logic gates, and then actually come down here to flip-flops and just match the flip-flop. You want the flip-flop DCO. Yeah, it's the same one as this one here. So you built, that's the flip-flop you want. Okay? So you build the whole circuit, put the probes on there, and then you'll see coming off of these, off of my probes, are 3 wires. Now, I've got them in reverse order because this is my first one, but it's going to be my C switch, and you'll see when I get to that. So, logic converter right there. I click on that, and it just brings it over here. I'm going to get rid of it because I got one right here. Double click on that, and this comes up. You want to click these. These are what tell you how many you want to have. So I want to have 3, so I click this. Then over here, I need to put in my column A. I got 2 1s at the top and then a 1 0 1 at the bottom. So I'll have a 1. I click on this, a 1, a 1, 0, and then I got a 1 right there. 1 1. I just made this one up. I have no idea what it looks like. So you're going to do this. This is my segment A. Then you'll do B, C, D, E, F, G. Do all that. Then I click this, my simplified button. And that gives me my simplified logic circuit right down here. Then I click this button, which creates my circuit. Right there. Not too complicated. So that's going to be my A segment. Now, to connect, I got to connect this 2 ways. What I've been doing, if you do Control J, I put a junction. Control J right underneath each one of these. And that's just so it's easy to follow. I don't have to try to delete it, because now what I can do, so remember, this is going to go in the same order. So A is going to come over to the first one, which is the third flip-flop. A, third flip-flop. B, middle flip-flop. C, that flip-flop. Oh, you see, and this will happen too. This wouldn't affect it, but I just like to have everything connected. That way I know there's a, you do need to double check, because sometimes it, above it wouldn't matter, but below it, like if that little section went, it would matter. So now I've got that connected properly. So I have that connected, and then that just needs to, okay, I'm way over here, so I'm going to bring it over. So that goes to PIO 32. Boom, boom. Okay? And so that's how that all goes. So that's how you connect it here. That's how you connect it here. And you do that for every one of them. When you get all done, then you're going to save it to a flash drive. You bring it over to the machine, to the other computer that's got the FPGA on it, and then you would transfer, export to PLD. You don't really need to save it. Click Next. You have to pick the 32-bit. You need to click right here and make sure that you've got the CMOD S6 like that. And then you would just click Finish. Now I'm not plugged in, so it's not going to work. But if I was attached, I could click Finish, and it would download. And I'll be there. I can help you out with that. But this is what it looks like. And then the next one will just go, then you just go back in there, and you know, if I make another one, make that a 0. I simplify it, and I create it. They may be really small. If they're exactly the same, I had one that was exactly the same. This one's a little different, I think. Yeah, it's got 3 inverters. And then I do the same thing again. This just makes it easier and cleaner. It's easier to follow what you're doing. That's actually, I'm going to put it right there. And then again, goes to A, goes to B, goes to C, and this comes up to the next one right there. And it's going to fill up the whole sheet. Once you've got these over here, if I click on this, I can come down and then double click and keep them nice and straight. That just makes it that way you won't mess up. So that as you go down, boom, 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 A through G. And that's it. So I think that'll help you getting that done.